everyone. Welcome to the Elder Scrolls Online Blackwood Chapter Preview event.
Hey ESO fam, we're so excited to be here with you today as we go in depth on our latest year-long adventure.
Back in January, we announced the Blackwood Chapter, which is part of the Gates of Oblivion adventure. Set in some of the same locations as the Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion, but 800 years in the past, it's the story of Mehrunes Dagon, the four-armed Daedric Prince of Destruction, and his pursuit to take over Tamriel.
The Blackwood Chapter, which releases this June, is one of 4 new adventures coming this year that's tied to the Gates of Oblivion story. The first DLC in our year-long adventure is Flames of Ambition, which kicked off the exciting new story earlier this month. And we'll have 2 more content drops later this year after Blackwood's launch in June. Today, though, we'll be focusing on the Blackwood Chapter, premiering some exclusive gameplay that's still in development, and giving you an update on a new system we know lots of you are excited about, Companions.
Whether you're a longtime player or a new adventurer interested in joining the millions of people who have played the Elder Scrolls Online, this is the place to be. Plus, we'll let you know how you can jump into some Gates of Oblivion content today for free, whether you own the game or not.
We'll be back in a little bit with more info, but now it's time to kick things off.
A big hello to everyone tuning in from around the world. We're so excited to be here at ZOS HQ to share more details about Blackwood and the Gates of Oblivion. I have both the honor and privilege of representing the team here at ZOS. They are an incredible bunch of people, and it is their passion, talent, and hard work that has made ESO what it is today. A huge thank you to everyone on the team for all your hard work over the years. The Elder Scrolls Online has surpassed 18 million players this year, and we're still growing. The response to our Gates of Oblivion global reveal event back in January was incredible. We loved hearing how excited you were about the return of a test classic in Mehrunes Dagon and starting your year-long adventure. Many of you already have by jumping into our first DLC, Flames of Ambition. We are just about ready to venture into Blackwood, but before we do, let's talk companions. As we announced in our Blackwood reveal event back in January, companions are your adventuring buddies, joining you in nearly everything and anything you do in ESO. That means you'll always have someone at your side, ready for adventure, regardless of whether you play solo or with friends. From battling Dagon cultists to investigating Ayleid ruins, they'll be there for you. You can adventure with your companion almost anywhere, with the exception of PvP or solo arenas. And if you need some time for yourself, you can always despawn or dismiss them at will. There are 2 different companions available in the chapter launch, and they are unlocked by completing quests in the Blackwood zone. All companions, including any we might add in the future, have their own unique identities, along with their own likes and dislikes. And as you get to know them, you can unlock new quests that provide more insight into who they are and where they came from. Pay attention though, because you can build up or lose rapport with your companions depending on your actions in Tamriel. Once you've unlocked a companion, they start at level 1, and they can level up by earning experience in combat with you. As you level your companion up, they unlock new skills and active ability slots for use in combat. It's your choice on which abilities they use, as well as their gear and combat behaviors. Take special care, though, when slotting their abilities. Companions use a cooldown and priority system when choosing which abilities to use. The order in which they are placed on the skill bar is the order in which they will try to use the skills. We know how much you love to customize your own characters. Companions will also be able to have their appearances customized, using some of the cosmetics you've unlocked for your own characters, including mounts, costumes, and outfits. There's still a lot more details to cover with companions, and I know you all have tons of questions. We'll have a lot more info on this soon, so make sure to check out our website for updates. And now, it's time to explore Argonian and Imperial-occupied lands known as Blackwood.
Hey everyone, and thanks for joining me on this adventure through Blackwood. As Rich mentioned back in January, the chapter zone of Blackwood stretches from the southern portions of Cyrodiil all the way east to the borders of Shadowfen. It's here that a mixture of both Argonian and Imperial cultures will attempt to coexist with one another, though this will be difficult at times. But The two races will have to put their differences aside as the forces of Mehrunes Dagon and his cultists attempt to sow the seeds of destruction in Blackwood. When you first arrive in Blackwood, you'll be at the gates of Leyawiin. It's going to be instantly familiar to those who've played Test 4. Expect to find the Great Chapel of Zenithar near the city gates, as well as Castle Leyawiin towering over the city itself. Of course, being set 800 years prior to Test 4 means there's going to be some differences as well. Our Leyawiin has a proper dock outside the city walls, placing the city at the center of bustling trade routes within the Topol Bay. There's also going to be a number of new marketplaces and vendors that have set up shop in areas that may have been inaccessible due to Test 4's timeline due to all the city's excessive flooding. Leyawiin is the largest city in Blackwood, and it's also going to act as your main hub. It contains all the regular vendors, crafting stations, guilds, banks, and other services you'd expect from a hub city. It's also where the main quest begins. You see, acting commander of the Ivory Brigade, Rian Lorne, will have need of you when you arrive. Imperial counselors, all who appear to have connections to emperors of the past, are in danger. It's going to be up to you and an old friend, Evely Sharparrow, to discover what exactly is going on in Blackwood. Now, there's a lot more to see and explore in Leyawiin when Blackwood launches. For now, though, let's travel to a place folks haven't visited since 1994's arena, Gideon. Now, we're going to need to be on high alert as we make our way to the city. While Gideon itself is a safe haven, the ruined Ayleid outskirts are quite dangerous. You'll need to be on the lookout for the dangerous creatures roaming the swamps, like my new favorite monsters, the bog dogs and death hoppers. Those aren't the only things you'll need to watch out for either. The restless spirits that haunt the ruins of Castle Geovis, a landmark that should be familiar to those who have read the lore book 2920, are nearby as well. For now, though, let's continue into the city of Gideon. Though the city may look imperial, its leadership and rulers are anything but. Led by the great Keshu of the Blackfin Legion, Gideon has been turned into a home for not only the Argonians who have left the dark swamps of the Black Marsh, but for many travelers from the lands around the area. In addition to the major cities of Blackwood, there's tons of other locations to explore as well, both familiar and new. Places like Undertow Caverns, Beyond Ruins, and Border Watch will all be familiar but different. There's also places like Arpenia, Deepscorn Hollow, and Bloodrun Cave, each with their own unique stories to tell. You're also going to want to keep an eye out for some familiar faces here too. There might just be an archaeologist and her manservant stumbling into some trouble again. Oh, and perhaps a band of masked actors from Somerset as well. Next up, we're going to dance with some Daedra in the Deadlands. But before we do, a quick word from our sponsors.
Wow, there is a lot to look forward to in Blackwood. There are a ton of great in-game events, new content, and sales happening right now too, beginning with the ESO Free Play event.
For the next 2 weeks, new players can test drive The Elder Scrolls Online on any available platform absolutely free. You can visit elderscrollsonline.com/freeplay for all the details.
Some exciting news on top of that, all players, new, returning, or current, can begin their Gates of Oblivion adventure today. Right now, anyone can jump into the ESO Blackwood Prologue quest.
This new quest ties directly to the events in Blackwood, giving you a perfect starting point along with something tasty to tide you over until the chapter release. No spoilers, but the Prologue quest will have you learn the terrible secret of the Longhouse Emperors who are threatening Tamriel.
You'll help fan-favorite characters Lyrinth, the Dremora, and Evely Sharparrow to overcome Daedric cultists and begin to solve the mystery of Mehrunes Dagon's 4 ambitions. This is available to everyone, even players who are participating in the free trial.
And remember, if you've participated in a free trial before, your character and all progress carries over, so you can pick up exactly where you left off.
And if you want more, the Flames of Ambition DLC is available now in the ESO Crown Store. It's also available to players through our ESO Plus membership. Or you can also pick up the latest chapter, ESO Greymoor, part of the Dark Heart of Skyrim adventure, on sale now before Blackwood arrives in June.
That's tons of content to go through. Speaking of which,
It's time to check out a cool new world event that we're introducing in Blackwood that I'm very excited about, Oblivion Portals. These portals are early Dagon experiments, attempts to bridge a path between Nirn and the Deadlands themselves. and they're unlike anything we've ever done before. Unlike previous world events, these portals aren't marked out on your map. Instead, they'll appear randomly throughout the zone, and you're going to need to seek them out to discover their whereabouts. These Oblivion portals aren't the same ones as in Test 4. A Daedric army isn't going to come marching out of them and destroy Kvatch again. Instead, you're going to need to bring the battle to the Deadlands to shut them down. When you enter an Oblivion portal, you'll be whisked away to a random island in the depths of the Deadlands. Because there's several starting locations for these events, you'll need to traverse a number of different pathways each adventure to get to your ultimate goal. This means, depending on the islands you traverse, expect to encounter different types of Daedra, cultists, and even champion mini-bosses standing in your way. These portals aren't just small areas that you're entering either. You can expect a similar size and scope to our public dungeons, just to give you an idea of how large they actually are. Now, once you're inside the Deadlands, your goal lies inside the tower at the central island. Be warned though, the deeper you go, the more challenging this is going to get. Once you do arrive at your goal, expect to face off with the Daedra in charge of these recent invasions in an epic battle alongside your friends and allies. Just know, this is only the beginning of Mehrunes Dagon's plans. But these portals are proof that he's making progress. I look forward to adventuring alongside all of you when these portal events begin later this year with the launch of Blackwood.
The Blackwood chapter launches in June, and we're counting down the days. We can't wait to share what we've been working on so hard this past year. But Blackwood isn't the end. There's still a lot more to come in the Gates of Oblivion adventure. We'll have more info on that shortly after chapter launch, so keep your eyes peeled. But before I go, I've got one last thing that I think you will all be very interested in seeing. Check out the world premiere of our very first Blackwood gameplay trailer.
「情妙の者はその愚かさゆえに理解を超えた大いなる危機に見舞われる。今でさえ無意味で怠惰なる時を生き、破滅の淵に立たされていることに気づきもしない。彼らは取るに足らぬ砂粒に過ぎない。だがそれでも彼らを待つ苦境にはそそられるわ、興味を。私が時と才能を費やすに足る謎と出会うのは本当に久しぶり。その背を押してやれば私に感謝するだろう。エルダースクロールズオンラインブラックウッド。
And that's a wrap. Thanks to Rich, Jason, and of course, all of you for tuning in.
Blackwood is available for pre-purchase right now. This latest ESO chapter will launch on PC, Mac, and Stadia on June 1st and June 8th for Xbox and PlayStation. The ESO free trial is happening now and runs until April 13th. The Blackwood chapter prologue quests are also live right now and available to all ESO players, both those who already own the game and anyone participating in the free play event. And fans can pick up ESO Greymore on sale right now and play through all previous chapter content while we wait for Blackwood.
Be sure to visit ElderScrollsOnline.com for all the details on what's going on and how you can join in on the fun.
Thank you all so much for tuning in. We hope you had fun today. I know we did. We'll see you next time.